You just took our only formula for super strength.
Everything about you will become stronger.
Oh, I am all powerful!
Dang, it's spraining my groin. Do chicks have groins?
Garbage in, garbage out.
Hey everyone, welcome to Garbage In, Garbage Out. I'm your host Kelton, and joining me this week is my other co-host Grift. As always, how is it going, sir?
It's going well over here. How's it going with you?
Can't complain too much. I mean, we watched this movie, so I guess I have a little bit to complain about, but that's for a little bit later on in the episode. More importantly, though, we have a guest this week. It's Ruby from Twitter. How is it going?
Hi, it's going good. It's going good being, over in from Twitter. It's great.
That non-hellscape.
Yeah, it's all totally fine and totally normal over here. It's great.
It's a great platform for bullying your way onto podcasts.
That's right. It is. It is. It's the best way. It is the only place where, probably not the only place, but the harassment is a good thing and it gets you what you want. Obviously.
The fact, though, that you took a photo of yourself with my dogs, saying that if I want them back to get you on the podcast, that was a bold move.
Yeah,
I had to respect it.
I had to take some time off work and do a little research and get some, travel tickets, but I made it work.
Chad Burney all taught us that the more people you harass online, the better the primary results are going to be.
Exactly. That's exactly why I have him hanging up above my computer.
And it ends up definitely working out in the long run, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't
see?
it all
Yeah.
end in like this embittered disappointment that furthers the black pill? Not at all.
I was moving last weekend, and I found in a box that Bernie that Bernie Rage Against the Machine poster, and it was sort of like semi crumpled, and it probably I was just like fuck it and threw it away.
Oh wow! Oh man!
Like the one that you got for like in the mail for donating any amount that they would send you, and
that they sent you like 4 months after the fact.
Yeah.
I have two equally sad mementos. I have on my car a sticker that says President Sanders.
Ugh.
And I still have it on there, and I refuse to take it off out of principle. And like a little while ago, me and my wife were swapping out, pulling out old clothes that didn't fit our kids anymore. And we had a onesie for my daughter that has Bernie 2020 on it. And we were like, oh, look at how cute. Let's go. And now I'm just, it hurts. It's the same pain that I'm going to feel when she leaves the house at 18.
Oh, it's going to be like 23. Come on now. In today's economy.
Hey, okay, mate. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I have a Bernie sticker on my car too, but it doesn't say President Bernie on it. Like that's just like driving your L's around town.
Yeah, it was probably, yeah. It was, looking back, hindsight. And speaking of, I don't own this one, but I do remember it. Speaking of hindsight, after he'd lost the primary in 2016, I went to one of his rallies or something. I think it was after he lost. And there was a guy selling hindsight is 2020 shirts outside. And I was like, now I'm like, man, that really fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
That does not age well.
No.
Yeah.
It's a lesson learned, though. It's better to age poorly than, I guess, to be forgotten completely. So
friendship ended with electoralism, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, honestly, I can't see myself standing another politician unless it's someone who's talking some straight up like, yo, when I get in office, I'm gonna send everyone $20,000 like immediately type shit.
Yeah, man. Just
like
whatever.
Like come on.
As long as it's not some fucking goof like Andrew Yang. I can't stand that shit.
Oh no,
fucking
fuck that guy. Something's off about that guy.
he gave away his dog, and then he still sees it like it's a child support payment. What the fuck?
And then like people with like blue caps dimensions will come in. Will be like he was just sharing a human moment. about his dog. It's like, no, you're on the campaign trail and you said that you gave away your dog. Like, and apparently it was like someone, I don't know whether this is confirmed, but someone said on Twitter, I saw someone reply that it was a hypoallergenic breed of dog. So like,
it didn't test well to be an Asian guy with a dog. There were too many harassing comments.
Oh no! Oh no!
We don't need that anti-Asian hate here.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
You can't start passing that around. You can't start instigating that.
Yeah,
didn't
I
people
would
get-
like that.
get that?
In honor of anti-Asian hate, Gigo will be covering Mortal Kombat later on.
Didn't people get those jokes out of their system when Obama was president?
Not quite. You know, we gotta keep upping the ante just a little bit, Grift. Otherwise, you know, the neoliberalism will settle in, and then we'll have to, you know, fall into this world of bizarre superhero comedies, which doesn't seem like any fun whatsoever.
Fucking great segue. That's awesome. Let's go.
Thank you. Professionalism in broadcasting. That's what I try and do, you know? This week, we're talking about Thunder Force, the Octavia Spencer and Melissa McCarthy vehicle. Two women, two very talented actresses. Just not a great movie in my mind, but let me take it here to the panel. What did y'all think about it?
I'm just repulsed with the raw chicken. Like one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen depicted on screen, and then it was included in like what was supposed to be the emotional crux of like the happy ending.
They put it in there like 5 fucking times. Why?
I held off on watching this movie, and like I watched the last like hour like right before we recorded, just because I like tried to put in a little bit last night, couldn't do it. Couldn't make it very far. Spent most of the thing on my phone, so just I consider my time more valuable than this movie.
That's
like,
true. That's true.
Like, just,
that's how the review goes. So it's not even worth it if you're going to be on your phone during it.
Every time a scene changed, I had a list of fucking things that pissed me off. From one to the other. Like I mentioned already, but I was fucking like keeping notes, but I kind of just wrote them, like I jotted down my exact thought that I had in my head at the moment. Unintentionally, because I did not realize this until I went to look back. Every single one ends with either fuck you or fuck off. It fucking pissed me off. Every stupid thing in this movie. It's just, there's nothing. There was like, I'll save it for one where I guess I don't fucking know. Spoilers matter for something so worthless, but like, there's like one recurring gag that made me laugh every time, and then like 2 of the jokes landed, and everything else was just a waste of my time.
Well, you know, I'm not going to hold it against you that you laughed at this movie. It's okay. We all have our faults, and
I did. Every time I laughed, I got pissed off, and I yelled no. I can't fucking laugh at this. I can't let myself.
On some degree, you have to respect the grift of Melissa McCarthy getting Netflix to finance her getting to play act being a white savior, directed by her husband.
It's a true grift at this point. Although with the way Netflix is just shoveling money to any big name who decides to make a movie with them, it doesn't even really seem like a grift anymore, as much as like this is just a retirement plan. It's like, oh man, I want to make sure my daughters can afford to go to Dartmouth. Okay, well, let me do this Netflix movie real quick, shit it out, and congratulations, we're now set. Wonderful. It's just a wet flop of a film, and overall, you know, critics would give this movie like a 3.5 out of 10, and then audiences were kind of in that same boat. So we're gonna do our actual like reviews of this a little later. But are y'all familiar at all with any of the background, either with this movie or with Melissa McCarthy and her husband Ben Falcone's reign of terror?
No.
Well then,
I've only just recently been made aware of the whole fucking thing with Ben Falcone.
buckle up, buckaroos. That's all.
Like, All I know is the fucking freak you like retweeted.
Let's go.
Who was like, don't harass her husband because he's a fucking freak, all right? Or like whatever.
And
the
to
fuck.
be fair, I don't want any of that slander. I did not retweet that freak. Okay, I had screenshots.
Quote-tweeted. Okay.
That's
screenshots.
right. That's
okay,
right.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give
gotta
any
bait them out,
clout to
though.
that.
I want to find
fucking freak show of a human being. God
No
damn.
free clout zone.
Yeah. So okay, let me tell y'all a little bit about what went down on the production side of things. In 2019, Netflix decided to go ahead and greenlight this movie. It's of course starring Melissa McCarthy, and it's mostly meant for her. And then Octavia Spencer. They've known each other for like 20 plus years since McCarthy was in the Groundlings, which is an LA-based improv group that Octavia Spencer, when she would get off work or failed auditions or whatever, she would go watch their shows. So that's like how they got to know each other. And then when they both had their big blow-ups in 2012 with Spencer being in The Help, where she won an Oscar, and then McCarthy being in Bridesmaids, which really kind of put her in the stratosphere instead of being, oh, she was on what is it? Gilmore Girls, right? I mean, that's kind of what she was known as before. So they both became big names at roughly the same time. They hadn't really gotten a chance to work with each other. They decided that they would make a movie together, and it's going to be directed by her husband, which Ben Falcone. You might think that that would be an enjoyable time. It's couples spending time together. Seems like it would be kind of fun on set. Let me describe what exactly I believe Ben Falcone's trajectory is. So we're going to go into the year of our Lord 2014. A movie called Tammy comes out. It's not very well received. However, it was made on like a $15 million budget and brought $100 million in. So roughly $70 million in profit. And it was directed by Ben Falcone, and it was produced by Will Ferrell and Adam McKay. So pretty great start so far to his directing career. Then he directs another movie also starring his wife that's called The Boss, and it made about $79 million at the box office. Had a much higher operating budget though, so it only made about $10 million. It was again produced by Will Ferrell and Adam McKay. The reason I'm mentioning this is that the Gary Sanchez production company kind of has an established brand, has an established fan base. And so when they're willing to put in the effort and the word of mouth, that's going to put people in the seats to go ahead and actually want to watch this movie, right? Then we go into a movie called Life of the Party, in which it made $65 million, basically broke even with the production budget. And that is when Ben Falcone and Melissa McCarthy decide that they are going to really focus on being a solo production team. They're going to be a husband and wife duo ruling Hollywood with an iron fist, or at least that's going to be their goal. And so Falcone decides to be a producer, not a director, of the next movie called Happy Time Murders that made only $27 million at the box office, which, I mean, whatever, if it's a small budget, however, it wasn't. It was a basic loss to the studio of over $50 million.
Yikes.
So that kind of got him on the shit list real fast. And then there was a film called Super Intelligence that was going to be in theaters Christmas time, that then got moved to Thanksgiving, that then got moved to streaming only, at least domestically. And that movie only made about $4 million globally. And so, again, we're going 100 million, 79, 65, 27, 4, and then Thunder Force comes out, and it's only streaming.
You can see the real trajectory.
Are all these ratings here out of 10?
Out of 10,
so
yeah.
My man has not broken 4.6.
That is right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, it's just I love Lost Unknown. It's just like we're not even gonna try to like quantify this accounting error that this film is on our media company's balance sheet.
It's insane because they jumped ship basically, because they were among like the Warner Bros. And Universal crowd of actual studios, and then as they've gained more production power and more directing power, they've lost more money, and now they're going to the world of streaming, which is just insane to me. And it shows that streaming is kind of a scam if you're trying to make legitimate money off of it from like a brass tacks point of view.
And that it's not taken seriously yet. Like it's still not taken, despite the desperate attempts to put out like Oscar bait from streaming services. A lot of them still aren't taken seriously. It's still a just big running fucking joke that Netflix will just give you a check if you have a somewhat recognizable name and just give you whatever you want.
That's so true. It like cheapens the mystique of it. Like, cause you know how like when you're like an album cover very much influences your like mental impression of like the album when you think of it. Like it's like the streaming service that something comes out on, or the media platform that is disseminated on, like theaters versus streaming, or if it's a show or whatever on what network, that influences like how it's perceived. And like Netflix has this I like whenever I hear like, oh, it's a Netflix original, it's like, okay, it's going to be either like a slickly produced but cheaply budgeted true crime show, or like or like a TV movie.
Yep.
Basically.
And it's like that used to be different, at least for me, right? Because when Netflix first started to push into originals and put a lot of focus on originals because they were losing everything to, you know, everybody starting their own fucking service, I remember a point where Netflix original was like, oh, this is going to be good.
That's because they were using an algorithm.
Like they put out like...
They literally went, what is our most popular actor according to the data we've gotten? Kevin Spacey. Who is our most popular director based on the data that we have? David Fincher. Fantastic. David Fincher will make a Kevin Spacey TV show. What can we do?
Yeah, I guess that makes
and
sense.
like another dimension to that was like a political thriller.
Yes.
Like a political thriller starring Kevin Spacey, directed by David Fincher, was like what their internal data showed. And like you were saying, it did hold more like when you heard something was coming out on Netflix in that era, they released fewer shows, and with higher quality.
Yeah.
But given the model that they've had to follow in terms of like just continuously pumping out content to keep up with people withdrawing their content from their service, like they've just had to, you know, like lower the bar so much and dilute the brand.
And in that sense, big win for them. They got all of Sony's movies in the future recently.
Congratulations, Sony. We're definitely not going to be selling all of our movies to Disney soon. That's right, Sony.
Yeah, right? It's so embarrassing. They're the at least in a sense that like Sony, at least as far as I can tell, is the production, like the movie company, their movie arm or whatever. Even normies know what a shit show that is. Like people are aware that they're just fucking everything up, that they have a ton of internal issues. Like a lot of people that I wouldn't expect to know that kind of thing or be in on the loop on that kind of thing are aware of that. And it's like, that's embarrassing. The only fucking person they got to stay was Sony, you know, because everybody else is just doing their own thing.
It's like how normies knew that like MGM was a disaster for a while. Like it was like when a studio hits that bad of a string of money losers, like it becomes not like it sort of gets outside of the more niche spaces that like it's coming out with like movies from this company, like they're on the ropes right now. Like
it's like the equivalent of Netflix announcing that they get exclusive streaming rights to M. Night Shyamalan's future movies. Like it's the same kind of grab, you know. It's like, look at how proud we are. We are the home of original shit and third party shit. Isn't that great? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't be announcing that, I guess. Well, I guess the Sony thing was because they're getting Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And like people
Spider-Man,
like Spider-Man.
and Venom 2 and that Morbius movie with Jared Leto.
Literally all the
watch them.
All the announcements were just Sony or Netflix gets exclusive streaming rights to future Spider-Man movies and the other stuff.
Yeah, it's not even like it's going to come out in theaters the same day that it hits Netflix. They're just talking about...
No. It's just whenever it would have gotten to streaming, it'll go to Netflix.
So roughly 6 months after it hits theaters. Basically, once everyone has already pirated it.
Yeah. And like in my case, I have Netflix because it's on my phone bill, included for free. I would not have it otherwise. I absolutely would not have it. It's not worth it. I haven't wanted to get HBO Max because it's just so expensive. But then I was like, well, I have to see the monkey fight the lizard. I can't get it spoiled because I had to talk shit because I knew I was going to be right about who won.
When HBO Max first came out, people were shitting all over it, but I was trying to explain that like Warner Bros. Is actually capable of taking Disney head on in the sense that like they don't give a shit if they make money on HBO or not, because what they're trying to do is get you to buy internet plans.
Yeah,
and you know they
because they're fucking owned by AT&T.
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
It's all a grift.
For anyone, by the way, wondering like what sort of awful negotiating Sony really has. When they were negotiating the Spider-Man deal with Disney, they basically said, we will let you have the rights to Spider-Man, but we'll make money off of the movies. And Disney said, fuck you, you're going to only make half. Also, we're going to get all of the merchandising rights to Spider-Man. And Sony said, okay.
Them so bad. Sony had kind of, at least if you, like, I kind of think that, what the fuck's his name now? I can't think of it. Kevin
Feige?
Yeah, Kevin Feige actually kind of cares about the plot line and connectedness of these movies.
He absolutely does, because he's now going to be able to take over Star Wars. So
yeah, and I feel like there is genuine, care and craft in what he's trying to do with the MCU, and Spider-Man was being positioned to be super fucking important. Like when they introduced him in Civil War and started doing their shit, like he was set up to be a major factor in the kind of overall storyline. So Sony kind of had leverage. They could have been like, no, we'll just take him back. And they threatened to. And then, 2 months later, they were the fucking, they were the bottom. Like, it's like, no, you're going to do what I say and give me the money for it, bitch. Like, it's like, they didn't even fucking try. It was literally 2 months. I was super plugged into the shit because I'm a complete loser, especially with Spider-Man. And it was like 2 months from when Sony said, okay, deals, or like news came out that the deal was over and they weren't going to share Spider-Man anymore. 2 months later, okay, Sony's giving back Spider-Man and they're taking half the movie budget or half the movie revenues, no merchandise revenues, and they're gonna like it.
Oh, and they also have to fully fund the movie, so they have to do the full operation budget.
What the fuck kind of deal is that? Like,
so what you're saying is they negotiate like Democrats?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Disney really does kind of have that like bizarre neocon debate style where it's like, no, fuck you. Well, fine, I'll meet you halfway. No, you're going to meet me 3/4 of the way. Fine. Okay. No, you're going to meet me the full way. God damn it.
A real 3/5 compromise.
No. See, you can only make that joke if we're talking about Miles Morales Spider-Man, not with Peter Parker. Come on now.
No, right. Yeah, they get the whole pie on that one, I guess. Until, MCU puts Miles in because they've already name dropped him anyway.
That's exactly right.
And then it's going to be a real
right.
3/5 compromise, except it's just, they're going to fucking end up just selling Spider-Man back. Like that's what they're going to end up doing.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't mean to make like DC fans become absolutely afraid, but the reason Warner Bros is trying to make DC movies work is because if DC movies are not profitable, AT&T will cut that severed limb off. They will prune it off the vine, and Disney will buy DC. Because who wouldn't want to see Spider-Man versus Superman?
They will fucking let them do it. Like there's going to be no fucking give and take. There's going to be no kind of attempt to slow down Disney from acquiring, like the MCU is easily one of their biggest properties, right? And like far and away one of their biggest properties and biggest kind of just IPs. And everybody will know, maybe you shouldn't also own the only real competition to Marvel as a brand. Maybe you shouldn't own that. And then they're just going to own it. And they're like, okay, at least they get a good air quotes fucking Justice League movie now or whatever.
Yeah, definitely something to look forward to.
Imagine if what sparked like generationally transformative anti-trademark legislation, or like anti like monopolistic like monopoly competition like around like the DC and Marvel trademarks like being owned by the same company. Like imagine if that's that's how like history turned
Grift,
there.
that is going to be what happens, though.
Literally,
it's going to be Southwestern Bell, but for comic book shit, because that's the only stuff that makes money.
It's always stupid fucking shit that doesn't fucking matter that ever makes anything happen here. I fucking hate it. It pisses me off.
Well, I guess if we're going to be, continuing the trend of talking about things that are stupid and fucking shit and you hate them, we might as well actually talk about the plot of Thunder Force, right?
Yeah, maybe that's good idea.
All right.
Dreading every aspect.
Listen. Yeah, obviously, we're going to be diving into some spoilers here. The movie isn't that good, nor is it necessarily that complicated.
I've got plenty of shit to talk. Don't worry.
Good. Because in the year of our Lord, 1983, a cosmic ray turned sociopaths and criminals all over the world into lethal villains wielding deadly superhero-like powers.
I will immediately stop you. I immediately thought it was really fucking weird that they specified people with a genetic disposition to be sociopaths.
That's right. Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
This is 1993 crime bill type shit.
There's a lot of race science in this movie.
Like it was an immediate red flag. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I guess that's you could literally come up with fucking anything else to explain why only bad people get superpowers, not to fucking mention that half the time bad people is poor people. Like I'm gonna just start right there. Fucking Melissa McCarthy. I hate this fucking trope. You haven't gotten there yet, but you will. So this fucking trope of the two friends who grow estranged, and then the loser is fucking fat and poor and works in construction and is a slob, and the good one who's smart is a fucking bajillionaire.
But she is fat and a black woman, Ruby.
Yeah, man.
That's diversity.
I don't fuck you. I don't care. Like, give me a fucking break. That's exactly what it is. But like, fuck off.
And Melissa McCarthy gets to have her like white savior narrative where she gets
because then she has to fucking save.
She just shave her ass every fucking
they
time.
do the classism, and they're like, look, don't be mad. We're racially empowering someone until, she needs to be saved by her white best friend anyway.
Yeah. The black super scientist somehow doesn't know how the powers she genetically engineered will actually work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Great. So these villains, though, that happen in 1983, they're called miscreants, which is probably an all-time bad name for
what the
villains.
Fuck? Oh my god, that's another one.
It's right up there with like deplorables. It's like why is this the word that we're using?
They fucking called them miscreants. I'm like, dude, did some fucking like what the fuck is that? Did a Vulcan name these fucking things? Like what the fuck? Miscreants. What the fuck is that?
It's because they couldn't use the word undesirables. Like
my
god,
have used Inhumans. That's just as worthwhile.
Lumpin' proles.
God.
Yeah. Oh God. It is wild though. But as Ruby was alluding to, Lydia, played by Melissa McCarthy, and Emily, played by Octavia Spencer, are best friends in elementary school who become estranged through high school, and then we flash forward to the present day, and it's very paint by numbers. It was interesting that that Melissa McCarthy's kids played both elementary-aged Melissa McCarthy as well as high school-aged Melissa McCarthy.
No wonder she looks so much like her. I hated her, by the way. I could not fucking stand that little kid. I wanted to punch her in the face.
I could care less, really. Like, I was not offended, but like as a general rule, in my opinion, I'm like, these are child actors. They didn't ask for this, especially if you're the kid of one of the stars of the movie.
Real Jaden Smith energy on that shit. Like,
I hope you're okay. Enjoy your eventual independence and inevitable breakdown at some point. Like, we'll check back in on you when you're like 26 and see what's going on.
I noticed, like, at least I don't know if this is a fucking trend or whatever. I'm putting it out there. Famous actors who push their kids into acting, they all have the same kind of terrible dialogue delivery. Like, every time Melissa McCarthy's kids spoke, I thought of like Jaden Smith in After Earth or something like that. Like, it's like they're so, I know she's just a kid or whatever, but like, and also it kind of carried over into the adults too. All the dialogue delivery was fucking terrible.
Sure. I mean, again, like this movie is bad across the board. I'm not gonna go. It's the kids who set the mode in the wrong way. It would have been salvageable if not for those little bitches.
I just really didn't like her. Okay, it's annoying.
I get it. So in the present day in Chicago, because they're never gonna let us fucking forget that it's Chicago. The Bears, the Bulls, Super Bowl Shuffle references. God damn.
God.
It's so bad. But anyway, Lydia works as a forklift operator. Emily has become like top geneticist, scientist, something like that.
Geneticist, because that's what her parents
CEO
were.
of her own company, which, you know.
Yeah, she got a PhD in race science, let's be real.
I did, though, want to specifically talk to and ask Grift about this, as well as you, Ruby, because I feel like this movie is propaganda in its own way of making you believe that an orphaned young black woman could rise and become the founder, CEO, main operator of a $1 trillion company.
Yeah, fuck off.
In
That's
one
not
generation.
No, you're not starting 23andMe like when you come from those circumstances. Like I'm sorry, that is not the lived experience of.
The only thing that makes sense is if like reparations also occurred some point between high school and the present day in this universe.
Are you kidding me? With the fucking miscreants running around, poor neighborhoods are going to be torn to shit way worse. A bunch of fucking sociopaths with superpowers are going to tear those fucking places to shreds, and then the government won't care. Like, it's even less likely that she's fucking doing this in this universe.
It's also like, in terms of weird how the timeline works, later on there's a needle drop of Kiss from a Rose, which is just, I mean, we'll get into it later, but that was a movie from Batman, like one of the Batman sequels, which means that Batman exists in this world. But if the Miscreants came out in 1983, Batman 89 is the first one, meaning Miscreants have been around and superpowered villains for 6 years, and someone was like, no, we still need to make a Batman movie so we can get Kiss from a Rose going on. Like, what the fuck?
Are we asking superhero canon to make sense?
Yes, that's. I just want like the bare minimum here, but you know, like, as with many other things, I'm going to be disappointed by this movie. So,
yeah, it's like a lot of things in this movie would make me angrier if it was like a property I cared about. But like, you know, it's like, I don't give a fuck if Melissa McCarthy's fucking superhero movie is consistent, I guess.
Yeah, literally the only like super strong reaction I felt was just disgust at the raw chicken. Like it's stuck with me. I can't. Oh my god. Like
can't let it go. Never let it go.
Oh my god. Just
do you think they actually ate it? Like, was that a thing?
No, it was pears. It was pears with food coloring. That's what they do. Yeah.
They need to pull a DiCaprio and eat like an actual raw fucking like liver or whatever. That's how you get an Oscar for this, if that's real raw chicken.
She was so into it too. Like it was her like recurring
she fucking
set piece
She was
joke.
like, this
she
is
loved
gonna
that
be
shit.
Everyone's gonna love this. Everyone's gonna clap. Everyone's gonna think I'm so fucking funny. I'm the fat slob eating fucking raw chicken. Fuck
it's like
off.
No, that's not fun. Like just outright being a slob with that's it. There's no like.
I hate
other nuance to it.
That's
it's
a
not
fucking
funny.
Running gag in movies like this, like bad comedies.
God.
Just being a fucking slob is not funny, but it's always treated like it's hilarious.
Why do we think that Melissa McCarthy like enjoys? Because I mean, she produced this and stuff, so she had obviously a lot of creative control, especially with her husband being the director. But she still wanted to go for the lowbrow style humor jokes, which I mean, Adam Sandler does it, and so I understand that, you know, that type of humor is possible. But he's
actually a good writer.
Yeah.
And Adam Sandler that's what I was going to say.
Adam Sandler gives us like Uncut Gems performances every once in a while, you know?
Okay,
like,
well, Can You Ever Forgive Me is a wonderful film if no one's actually seen it. I highly recommend that. It's Melissa McCarthy actually giving a shit in the middle of these box office bombs.
That's also like a running thing that actors that appear or like, maybe, I don't know, again, maybe I'm like reading into it, but I've noticed a lot of actors fucking do that. They just pump out shit to get some money, and then they every once in a while they put out something really good.
Fucking paychecks.
Why don't
you know?
you do this? You fucking have no integrity.
Haven't you watched Entourage? You got to pay those bills. You gotta pay for the house. You gotta pay for the car.
Jerk it before we even get there. It's a fucking classic. I'm gonna put that shit up next to my chat.
Well, we're not even like through the full setup of the movie here. It's like the first act takes like 40 minutes to get through.
It does. Holy shit! It's so fucking slow.
So Melissa McCarthy, I'm sorry. So Octavia Spencer doesn't show up at the high school reunion, and so Melissa McCarthy's mad. She then goes to Octavia Spencer's offices and introduces herself as the estranged best friend, which sure, why the fuck not? And there's supposed to be a funny scene where security is just doing their job, really, and we're not supposed to be on their side. I don't know. I'm not sure how that operates. But long story short, Melissa McCarthy is introduced to Octavia Spencer. She's told to wait still, but wouldn't you know it, she doesn't wait still, does she? Instead, she, lays out on a chair, I think, right?
She just fucks up her house.
She's standing in the fucking... Okay, so when she first meets her, she's in like kind of a normal room. And she does her whole spiel, and then Octavia Spencer walks out. She says something to the kid to get him to leave. That was one of the jokes that made me laugh, and I don't remember it anymore. And then it's like fucking beat for beat, exactly what you think. Hey, don't touch anything. Okay, I'm going to start touching things. And she just starts poking shit like a 2-year-old. But then there's a massive dark room attached to this room or whatever that she's in. That's obviously the don't go in here room. And she's like, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to touch this. Ooh, this spins. Oh, I'm in the chair. Oh, I got stabbed in the fucking face. Like, it's so stupid. What is this chair? Is this chair fucking like weight activated? As soon as you sense someone in the seat, you have to give them the superpower stab in the face. Why the fuck did it go off? I hate this
It's
so
humor
much.
for fucking babies. They think we're babies. Like, anyone consuming this is a baby, and we're made babies by having done it.
Grift, I hate to say that I have to push back a little bit. It's even worse. Because the old adage is that you look at the age of the main characters of a movie to figure out what the target demo is. Then you look and see if there's any kid characters in it, because that is supposed to exhibit what the secondary demo is. And so we are looking for like wine moms who are approximately 50 years old and trying to connect to their 13, 14-year-old kids.
Oh my god, it's so fucking bleak.
The fucking tagline for the fucking movie in the stupid Twitter ad that I saw is "You can't stop two women in their 40s. Shut the fuck up. I will punch a woman in her 40s in the fucking face. Shut the fuck up. I hate it. I fucking can't stand it. It's such a stupid fucking, like, I hate movies made for that fucking demo. I mean, because I'm not that demo, I guess. But like, fucking God, I hate white wine moms. And they both fucking act like white wine moms. I just want them to die.
You hate the future that's in store for you. That someday you're going to turn on the movie and you go, wow, I thought that was going to be awful. I actually kind of liked it.
No,
and
don't say
that's
that.
when the turn
not
happens.
Be a fucking wine mom. Oh God!
That's when you're watching and you're like, "Oh yeah, that Fortnite scene had like one
I
frame
wrote
per
that
5
down.
seconds."
I fucking wrote that. She fucking did Fortnite. How many fucking movies? Okay, I have to know now, because when fucking Endgame put fucking Fortnite gameplay in the fucking movie, apparently, according to the Russos, they asked Epic to do that. Epic did not ask them. They said, "Can we put Fortnite in the movie?" Like gameplay, and they were like, sure, why would we say no? Did they do that? I mean, I imagine, and I guess Epic doesn't care because they're like, yeah, you can put our slop in your slop, whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
flosses in this fucking movie.
No, she doesn't actually floss.
I saw her floss.
No, we saw her from the top
down.
up floss. We did not see her actually use her arms and try to floss.
Oh yeah, they cut her, they cut her off. Yeah.
She could not floss. I don't think she could do the dance.
No, I don't think
and
so.
they just had her wave her arms around again, like a toddler who's trying to imitate how to floss. It's real bad. It's real bad. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So Melissa McCarthy has been injected with a super serum and found out, oh, this is actually the super strength super serum. So Octavia Spencer says you have to stay here in the lab, and we're going to go through like the most painful fucking training montage over the next 20 minutes and pump exposition
just
in.
As a side note to complain about the nothingness that is the universe and the plot of this movie. Why? Okay, so it took them forever to come up with the super strength juice.
Yep.
But I can't imagine it actually took them forever to make it, just to figure out how to make it.
That
so
is correct.
why don't you just fucking make more?
Yeah. What did you burn all your notes?
Fucking make more. Yeah, like, okay, we did it. Throw this out. I never want to see it again. We're done. Like, what the fuck, man? I don't fucking get it. It's so stupid.
They think you're so fucking stupid. Or they don't care.
No,
they really don't.
They care.
Literally put in lines like that so they can yada yada. It's, well, why don't they make more? We'll just say it takes like 5 years to make a vial. Sure, I guess. Okay, whatever. Fine. So Melissa McCarthy is training and is like getting stronger with every injection. And then there's a little bit about how Octavia Spencer's invisibility comes via pills. And so she just takes like one pill a day or whatever. And
yes, ding, that's another one that made me laugh. When she took the pill and she goes, it's just a pill. She goes, it's a big pill. And I don't know, that made me laugh. Okay, that's it.
It's happening, Grift. It's happening. Do you see that?
What? No, shut the fuck up. I take pills, and big pills are hard to swallow.
Wow, so it's relatable, huh?
Shut the fuck up.
The pills are big. It's so nice.
I mean, like, what else are wine moms kind of known for is like pill popping a little bit. Like, I mean, there was a reason on that Nira Tandon hat I put out. I had a little iPhone, I had a wine glass, and a pill bottle.
I thought it was just because she's a junkie or something, man. I don't know. It's not. I don't take.
No, I'm just saying that, like, pill popping pills definitely fits within the wine mom.
I don't even like wine.
Like demographic. Oh, I'm not saying you are.
I'm not like the other wine moms. I'm a cool wine mom because I don't like wine. Yeah, I get it. It's okay. It's okay. We'll track your progress. We'll have you on again some point in the future, and we'll see what happens.
If you have me on for some fucking wine mom movie again, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna actually take your dogs.
For whatever reason, we're thinking about later on, a few months from now, we're going to cover Magnolia with Tom Cruise. Would you like to be on for that?
Fuck you.
Well, as painful as that idea might be, it still wasn't as painful to me as that excruciating scene where Melissa McCarthy is trying to make a reference to a Jodie Foster movie called Nell.
Is she? No, because she starts with Steve Urkel.
That's right. And
that's what I wrote down. That fucking God.
What the fuck was that?
For so long.
That was my
Steve
wife
Urkel.
is so funny. She's doing improv right now. Let me put all of that into the movie. That was
what the fuck was that scene?
It's awful. Is what it is.
How do you write that, produce that, release that, quality check it, focus group check it, whatever the fuck?
Nope. Those last two steps definitely didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Yeah, I mean these things are kind of like, I guess they're focus grouped in like concept, but then like the actual footage is just like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah, again, I know, Griff, that we've talked about it kind of several times, but like, the actual result of the movie coming out doesn't mean anything to Netflix. It is just the hype around the movie coming out.
Was there even any fucking hype for this movie? Did anybody care?
I didn't know it existed until
literally for just like the Melissa McCarthy audience. And for that four-quadrant
I guess that
base.
makes sense. Yeah.
Like, again, we're not in that base, so it doesn't really make a lot of difference to us. But you absolutely know every fucking church group that holds a sleepover is like, hey, yeah, Thunder Force, that's cool. Like, every single 7th grade after school class is like, well, this movie will work because it's non-offensive to anyone. Like no one's gonna get mad at this movie.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and it's woke because it has a strong black woman in a leading role, even though she just gets to play like Melissa McCarthy's like token friend who she saves every time.
Yeah,
even though she is inferior in every like objective way, I guess, because like sort of professional achievement aside, like she just like acts like a total ass the whole movie.
yeah, she's a
slobbing
brilliant
it, like-
scientist woman.
Yeah.
But then the second she enters Melissa McCarthy's orbit, she just becomes lesser Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, seriously. She's literally just a fucking carbon copy of her. Just the same person again, but it's kind of boring and
I
has
can
no
have fun too.
Yeah,
Go fuck
fucking-
yourself.
God.
Jesus. Okay, well, we should focus on the B plot or the villain side of things as things are developing in this movie, because the mayoral race is heating up. One of the candidates is called the King. It's Bobby Cannavale. He's going up against not AOC. Did y'all notice that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I very
yeah.
much noticed that.
It was a Cuomo Rahm Emanuel hybrid
Yep.
versus like yeah.
I really
AOC
did think it was a
person,
Rahm
yeah.
Emanuel impression. And like Bobby Cannavale and then later Jason Bateman, they are like the MVPs of this movie for me. Like
Jason Bateman's the crab, right?
yes, yeah.
Okay, that's the one. That's the gag that made me laugh every time when he walked sideways with his crab claws when he left the scene. Every time he did that made me laugh.
Like they knew what movie they should be in, not the one that they actually were in.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like the scenes with them felt so radically different.
It felt like a different movie. Like the scene with him at the dinner table with her.
Yeah,
like,
that
like,
was a completely different fucking. Just everything about it did not fit in this fucking movie. Like
The banter that exists between Bobby Cannavale and Jason Bateman when they're talking about the various henchmen, like who's died, who's still around, like that is the thing that I was like, yeah, this is good. This belongs in like a Kick-Ass knockoff or something. Man, it just made me think about all the ways to just make this movie better. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening in the next scenes here, because the other henchman of Bobby Cannavale is Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy. Her first name is Palm. I cannot pronounce her last name. It's like Clementieff, I think. I could be, or rather, I know I'm wrong. I just don't know by how much. So, what did y'all think about Laser?
God, Laser. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Like maybe if part of the joke was like, if I could say confidently that the joke with these names is that they're deliberately boring and bland, but that I can't say that. Like I feel like nobody did that on purpose.
No.
They were given these names because they just shat out these names. Like I like her as Mantis a lot. She's a really fun character, and I think she fits the dynamic of the Guardians really well.
Mm-hmm.
But this, like, you would think maybe they would play to her strengths in that character somewhat, because it's not that like they have any integrity to avoid just ripping off Mantis anyway. But like she was just more nothingness in this movie. She was just another.
Now, you say
nothing.
that they're not going to use her to rip anyone off. She has the exact powers of Scarlet Witch from the Avengers.
No, I'm
movies.
saying that they don't. It's not like they don't have the integrity to not rip anyone off with her.
Got it. I was about to say, come on, it's magic hand movement and other thing go boom. Come on,
Yeah.
like they again, Crabman was the most original idea in this movie that they had.
I mean, I felt I got bit on the nutsack was a bit, much. He could have just been bitten by the crab. That, like, I don't know. I guess like that kind of fucking shit humor is so lazy to me. Like, haha. It's funny because it bit him on the nuts.
Okay.
Isn't that fucking funny?
Ruby, we're talking about lazy humor here.
Yeah, true.
That the purple Lamborghini, and
that was
struggling to get in and out. Wow.
when you first told me like this was the movie that was going to be covered, I saw an ad for it like that same day, and it had them trying to get out of the Lamborghini. And I'm like, oh my God, I know what this is. Like, I knew when I saw that in the trailer, I knew exactly what the rest of the movie was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I made that scene really funny for myself because I pretended that was an intentional reference to the hilariously just ridiculous Rick Ross song with Jared Leto's Joker in the music video called Purple Lamborghini that he made with
that is a
Skrillex
banger, and I will
for
defend that
Suicide
song.
Squad.
That
No, that
song
fucking song
slaps.
slaps. I love that
Yeah.
song.
That song did
it's
not
so
deserve to be
ridiculous.
associated with Suicide Squad.
That fucking song, like that created an in joke for my fucking friends because the guy, one of the guys in the music video, we just call him the gentleman with the stomach. And every time we see a really fat guy, that's what we think of. Like that song means something to me. And so I took that and I was like, yeah, that's what this is. This is the Joker's purple Lamborghini.
It means something. It can be something. Good Lord. So, yeah, I mean, they try to get out of a Lamborghini, but wouldn't you know it, they're too fat to get out of, even though there's obviously enough room. Like, Lamborghinis are famous for their doors, which allow so much room to get in and out of.
Yeah.
But, you know, just whatever. No, yeah, fine. It's leather, squeaking outfits. The outfits smell. Ha ha ha.
And the smelly outfits. Shut the fuck up. Why? Why can't you wash it? They nowhere in the fucking movie do they tell you that like the suits have some kind of tech or power that means they can't go through a washing machine. Make another one, you stupid fuck. Stop fucking wearing this. God, I hate it.
She's just obsessed with gross out humor.
Yeah, like it's
in a bizarre way. Like it's almost fetishistic in like the way she's fixated on hitting every element of like gross out humor. Like you're eating gross shit, you're smelling gross shit, like you're just being a trash person, like a trash monster who's making everybody's life like
she's
difficult around.
Man.
Like it's
So
just
she
what
throws trash all over the ring. And she starts eating garbage.
We finally get like our first quote unquote like action scene that takes place at a gas station, and I don't want to spend too much time on this scene because really it's the only important thing is that, you know, they meet Crabman and there's some banter that goes on, and Jason Bateman just absolutely steals the scene from them. And you know, again, highlight of the thing for me. But I wanted to ask y'all, have y'all seen Shazam by any chance?
No, I've not.
Okay. I was going to say, if you compare like the gas station robbery scene in this movie versus Shazam, it shows like what a difference competent directing can be, because it's basically the exact same setup.
Oh yeah, no, I can tell the difference just from that scene in the trailer for Shazam, because they put little clips of that scene in the trailer, and it's easy to see the difference in someone who gives a shit about the movie they're making.
Yeah, it just also, you know, one is clearly set like in a gas station, the other one is set in a studio somewhere in a parking lot, and they don't want to highlight that too much. So, anyways, let's see. Back at headquarters, they all decide to play Fortnite together, and that's kind of where we figure out that the daughter is going to be the Deus Ex Machina of the third act, because she's like, I'm not a nerd, I'm smart. There's a difference. Just like her mom and her mother before
they
her.
fucking reincorporate that line too. And also, why I don't know why this bugged me so much, but like, why was the Fortnite footage on the tablet so laggy? It was so laggy, like it was distracting. I'm like, why? What is this? No good internet in this fucking $multi-trillion building or something?
That would have actually been a good bit to have. Like that would have been a good
It wasn't
joke.
even anything. They just fucking did it like it was normal.
Yeah.
Because someone was probably too lazy, fucking pulled up Fortnite mobile on their fucking shit pad and just fucking recorded some shit or something.
They're all into Fortnite so much, but they play on their iPads. It's just
so
fuck
sad.
off. Oh my God. It really is just like what a 35-year-old mom thinks that, you know, their kids are doing.
I just
on
hope they
those
put
iPads.
Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer's characters in Fortnite. I want to see that.
Yeah, let's do it. Absolutely. Travis Scott, move over. It's time for the Melissa McCarthy concert to take place. God.
Oh God. And then it's a win for body positivity in Fortnite.
Yeah.
So then they are attacked by Laser, who just really kind of fucks shit up. The fight ends in a draw, and the bad guys are making like a fast getaway, and Melissa McCarthy finally realizes that now is the time for her to throw a bus. And what did we think about this scene? Because I'm gonna kind of want to dig into it a little bit here.
I remember she threw a bus, and then she just doesn't give a shit. She just doesn't give a like. She has like no consideration about like the consequences. She's just like, oh, whatever. Like, oh,
and that was supposed to be
bus.
funny because she's like, she's telling her, don't throw the fucking bus. And she's like, I can't hear you. I'm literally throwing a bus. Shut the fuck up. What do you mean you can't hear you? Like, you're not, it's not loud. It's not. Every fucking joke like that had to sit and fester for way too fucking long. Every single time Melissa McCarthy does something stupid, it sits and it festers and it makes you really feel how awful the fucking joke is. Every time. And she does, she's the fucking main funny in the movie, and she's doing it every 5 minutes. It's so annoying. It made the movie feel like 3 hours longer.
It really is, because for anyone who hasn't seen this movie, which is, I'm going to assume, most of the audience here, like when I talk about the scene where Melissa McCarthy throws a bus, you might imagine the setup that would exist in any, good to mediocre film, where like she throws the bus and then she realizes that maybe like she overshot it. So then she has like a look of terror and anxiety on her face, realizing like, oh, it's not going to land where she thinks. And then, it kind of like wings like a landmark of some kind. Like the bus lands in Wrigley Field, or something, related to Chicago.
Yeah,
destroys
some
the
statue
beam
or something.
Yeah. But that doesn't happen at all. Instead, we're just getting a zoom in on Melissa McCarthy's face as she kind of has like oh, whatever. Oh, I guess I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then the forced conflict between the best friends is shoved in, where she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't be perfect. I'm sorry, perfect people don't throw buses. And she walks off. We don't even see what the bus hit until like 15 minutes later.
Who was in the bus? Was that bus full of people?
They took everybody off. She came out. They were like, get off. Okay. I'm going to throw the bus. Get off. And they're like, what's happening? She's like, I'm throwing the bus. Get off. And then she fucking just chucked it. He's like, I'm going to leave. And then that's it.
Legitimate question here, and this would be an example of how to fix the movie, would be that she tries to throw the bus, but because, surprise, surprise, buses aren't meant to be held right from the middle, just whatsoever. So the bus would actually break in half on either side and sandwich Melissa McCarthy inside like some like giant
that would be
tomb.
Funny. Yeah.
And it would probably take, if I had to guess, the same fucking CGI budget that it would take for you to try and throw the bus and then show the bus being damaged and on fire.
Speaking of CGI
blah,
budget,
blah, blah.
the fucking picture that they used in the news broadcast of what it hit, I could do fucking better Photoshop than that. Give me a fucking break. It was so fucking bad.
I mean, like, the movie is broken. Like we all acknowledge that, but it's also boring, which is almost unforgivable at this point.
Yeah, that's the fucking cardinal sin of movies like these. Because bad movies can be really fun, and you can be like, go watch this terrible movie. But boring movies are not.
Like we have been in like the Southland Tales mindset since we watched it, so that is exactly, that point hits home so close to home right now.
And the difference, I mean, I'll use Southland Tales as the example here. Between Southland Tales and something like this is that in Southland Tales, the director knows how to do a comedy scene and he knows how to do an action scene. This movie has a director which knows how to do neither, but is trying to make an action comedy. It just does not work at all. Like that's what makes it so fundamentally broken, is not because of it just being lazy, but because I don't think they know how to make it good. And that is just baffling to me that they would choose him
so
as the director.
And it's like, it's super, when you see action, action, like what's in this movie, you really appreciate well-directed action, because like all of the fights, all of the action in this movie was so empty. Like it felt like a couple film students in a middle school parking lot filming like a fight scene. There was
middle school students would have better needle drops.
Yeah, true. You're right, because they get they're in the zeitgeist. But like fucking at the beginning of the movie, when Laser first shows up, before you even know she's Laser or whatever, she drives by Melissa McCarthy pre-powers and stuff, and it's the slow-mo what the fuck as she drives by. It's like everything about that scene was just kind of a warning of the rest of the movie. It lingered on the joke way too long. Like, you could tell Melissa McCarthy didn't actually say fuck when they were filming. She sat on the holding of the F, because the shot sat on her holding F for way too long. And then the CGI of the laser was absolutely terrible. And it was like everything about that scene just kind of set up the rest of it. It's all so empty. And so, like, yeah, it's not funny. It's also not fun to watch them fight. Nothing about it landed except for the crap.
The example I think I want to give for just how recycled everything feels is the actual needle drop of Kiss from a Rose. Because, like, that is a needle drop that got used in the 2015 movie Vacation. But before that, that was used as a needle drop in an episode of It's Always Sunny in 2008. That has been around as a joke for, at this point now, 13 years. Like, you got to do a little better than that.
Yeah, that too. This whole movie feels instantly dated. Like, it's just everything about it is dated too. It feels like it's for old women. It feels like it's made for wine moms.
Remember that song that was popular and it was ironic when you were in college, you know, before you met your husband and you decided to not go to grad school, but instead have a couple kids? Yeah, all right. That song. Good times. Take another Xanax.
Yeah, this is a movie to drink wine and pop a few perks with your daughter.
Yeah. Maybe see if that 19-year-old pool boy is, down to come over the weekend at some point.
We can ask if any of Matt Gaetz' friends are down to come.
It's nice to see that this is a movie Matt Gaetz and his girlfriend can watch at the same time.
I mean, considering that him and his House Republican colleagues in like Florida played a Harry Potter themed sex game.
Fuck yeah, dude! That's where so Florida.
They would get like points for like different hooking up with different women, and there was one in particular who was apparently the golden snitch.
Yeah, because if you bagged her, you won the game.
Really missed opportunity to not call it the golden snatch, by the way. But whatever.
Those guys aren't even that.
Yeah,
like,
they're not clever. Like, they're fucking.
Yeah. It's like just how you're posturing to be these like alpha frat bros. You're playing a game like based on Harry Potter. What the fuck?
Harry Potter,
like,
dude.
What?
Yeah, that's
dude.
It
fucking
too.
Harry Potter. What the hell is wrong with you? Like,
it's a sickness.
Yeah, bro. Let's go take the fucking Sorting Hat quiz. Come on, bro. Let's do it, bro. I bet you're not a fucking Gryffindor, bro. I am a Gryffindor, bro. Come on, let's fucking do it. Put it up. They fucking sit there in their fucking varsity jackets doing the fucking Pottermore quiz, and then when they're not the house they want, they need to go toss their varsity jackets and get the right color, and they all make fun of and haze the Hufflepuff kid. Holy shit! Why am I a fan of Harry Potter? I fucking God.
Doing a drinking game based on like the Sporkle quiz to see as many. You can list as many characters as possible.
See, that's a much better conversation than actually choosing to continue this movie. But unfortunately, we have to.
If we had to watch it, you all have to listen to us talk about it.
That's right. That's
the rule.
You noble few, you band of brothers. So Lydia, Melissa McCarthy, she flirts with Crabman off and on. That's when we get to the best scene in the movie, and that's the dinner scene, which at least that's what I think. That I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's the best part of it.
It is, for sure.
Jason Bateman again steals the show by being able to play everything completely straight, including trying to pick up a martini with his fucking crab hands. Just good use of comedy there. It's not highbrow, but you're like, this is a good idea. Why not? Something competent.
But what got me was the fucking seafood when the guy was like recommending crab.
See, that's actually when I was like, oh, okay. All right. This scene's a little too long at this point. Like, Great. Okay. But yeah, so they're able to then figure out that, as it would turn out, the bad guy is going to blow up a building that's full of his opponent's supporters because he's mad that he ended up losing the mayoral election.
He saw Inglorious Bastards. That's what he's doing.
I was watching a good movie and I got this plot idea. So
I was immersing myself in the toxic bro movie canon. And this
I feel like
concept
such
just came to
shit
me.
because people keep posting that joke, and I like all of those movies. Those are like all my top movies. It's the toxic frat bro fucking movie canon. Embarrassing.
it's okay, Ruby. You just accept what you will become. Again, it's okay.
It's okay to like good movies. Like,
No, I know. I'm not like, I don't fucking feel bad. It's funny because it's like, it'll come up and I'm like, oh.
Oh, we're
That's
not
me.
supposed to like. Oh man,
What do I like? Tell me what to like, please. I just want some clout. I can't not like what everyone likes.
I'm telling you, get on the ground floor. Invest now in Southland Tales. Now is the
Yes.
time. Mold your personality around that movie. You'll be okay.
yeah, because Gigo, we're gonna ride Southland Tales all the way to the top.
Yeah, and
Like,
by that I mean probably a respectable small cult following. I'll
I'm gonna
take
be
it.
DMing The Rock the picture of him in that movie every day until he runs for president.
I mean, you did get a big retweet from the pod account today.
Yeah,
for that.
thank you. It's nice to know that Will Menaker has acknowledged us at this point in time. Doesn't even know what we are, but I'd like to credit Grift and his connections for allowing us to pop up on his feed. So it was a good time. Good time. Do y'all remember how this movie ends? Because they all kind of just fight each other. I hate to make it sound that lamely, but
It actually ends like super abruptly. Like, so they have the fucking fight, which is super, like, you can see ahead of time that it's revealed that someone betrayed them. The like
it's
woman
Melissa
who's, like,
Leo, I think.
I
right?
don't know. Just
The CIA woman
the
who-
straight woman,
Yeah.
not like sexually straight, maybe, probably, but the straight man character.
Oh, come on. We all know she was like definitely coded as lesbian. Like she is like the stern
no, yeah,
lesbian.
you're right. Yeah, no,
mother.
you're totally right. Yeah. She fucking she like trains them and tries to keep them on track or whatever, because like you said, anytime Octavia Spencer's around Melissa McCarthy, she reverts to Melissa McCarthy brain.
Yep.
And so this character is like there to like guide them along, and she immediately betrays them. And they don't even like, in most movies where someone betrays you, you kind of learn why, and that's like part of the reveal is why they betrayed you. But
Not here.
when they find out she did, the daughter, the Octavia Spencer's daughter, I think is the one who says it. She's like, yeah, she ratted on us. He probably paid her. And then they just keep going. And it's like, you don't even have the fucking time to deign me with an explanation.
Well, why don't you know, daughter? Oh, it's because I brained her in the back of the head.
Yeah,
Left
she
her.
just fucking, she killed that bitch. She fucking Trotsky'd that bitch. Holy shit.
There's blood on my hands, mother, and I have developed super speed now.
Yeah,
because,
also was she taking the treatments in secret, or did she just only need to take one really big pill to get super speed? Who cares? It doesn't fucking matter. Now the daughter shows up with super speed, and they like resolve it with a very, very bland fake out death with Melissa McCarthy taking the bomb because they can't defuse it.
Mhm.
And the daughter can't run away with it because it might be too unstable, ? And so she jumps into a convenient like lake or some shit outside the building and blows up. And then 5 minutes later she climbs out. She's fine. Haha, we're great. She flosses again. She fucking flosses again. And then what the fuck happens? Like the camera pans up and the movie ends. Like there's not even any
before
real
she throws
resolution,
up
no?
all over not AOC
Right,
shoes.
she throws up. Yeah, that's right.
That's it. I mean, like, to give people an idea, the third act starts with basically 20 minutes left, and then it's over with about 13 minutes left. Like, it's not. I mean, weirdly, it's probably taking us longer to talk about than to actually show
Yeah.
people at this point. It's just, I mean, again, it's not a good movie. I didn't like the comedy. I didn't like the action. The chemistry between the cast is all bad. I really kind of wanted to just see the movie that could exist if this was like a tight 90 minutes and it was about just supervillains who have powers, and then they're kind of running the city, and then they're running into two superheroes that come into the scene. Like, from their perspective, I think that probably would have been a much better movie that would take place.
Like, honestly, that kind of makes me think like of a kind of something that I recently got into that at least I think is like kind of infinitely better in at attempting to kind of do what you just said, that I feel like could have made this thing so much better. I started watching, because I have HBO Max now, so I might as well. I started watching the Harley Quinn show, the animated one.
Man.
That show fucking rocks. That show's fucking awesome.
It is an amazing deconstruction of so many comic book tropes.
It is so good. And it's like, that's the kind of thing you want out of a comic book superhero thing that's not Marvel or DC.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want out of something that's not one of the big names, is something that deconstructs the tropes of the genre. And it's just like, oh no, this is just another excuse for Melissa McCarthy to be gross and
eat raw chicken.
Eat fucking raw chicken.
Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking throw up.
Let's get to the actual like review portion here about like how many trash cans are we giving this movie. Griff, do you want to go first?
I'd say like 3.5. Like it didn't quite warrant the full 4. Like it was like it wasn't completely like inoffensive. Like you could have it on in the background, but also just like entirely forgettable, entirely unoriginal, just really giving us nothing besides just really gross out humor that had no real point to it. Didn't really have anything to say. I mean, the one concept that could be interesting is like political candidates with their own like superhero armies.
Yep.
Like I feel like that concept, like in the sort of like we're in this sort of long, slow decline. There's gonna be a lot of breakdown in our political system. There's probably gonna be more trend towards like local warlords, local like like people wielding a lot of power if shit gets worse. And that's a sort of psychic manifestation of that to some degree.
Yeah,
like,
I have a feeling though that like what you're spitballing here probably will exist within the next 5 years. House of Cards, but a comedy, but everyone has superpowers at least.
Yeah, something like that. So like that was the only thing that was sort of tickled my interest in an idea to be expanded upon.
Sure.
So I'll give it half a garbage can for that. Or I'll subtract 1/2 garbage can from the full 4 that it probably should deserve.
Got it. And then Ruby?
Being a real gigolo, as I like to call myself.
Gigolo, Jesus.
Oh no!
That's the name. That's the name now for him. Oh
no,
God!
God damn it!
I went into the movie planning to rate it with garbage cans, and I kind of had that mentality going into it. And like, it's like everything about this movie that's good just makes me think of a different movie, or think of ways this movie could, like, nothing about this movie is worthwhile to me,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if it's out of 4, right, I'm totally willing to give it the full 4, because it's like, it's inoffensive. It's kind of, that's the thing though. For me, a movie that is nothing is not worth anything. There's nothing redeeming about it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the crap. I liked his little clacky claws. I liked Jason Bateman in the movie, and I liked 1 or 2 of the jokes made me laugh, and then I forgot them. But like, whereas you could argue that kind of saves it from the worst possible rating. The fact that I literally can't remember the jokes, the only ones I can remember are a visual gag. It's pure nothingness. This movie, as soon as we're done recording, this movie's out of my brain. It doesn't exist anymore.
This movie's not real. I'm a Thunder Force truther.
It fucking might as well become one. Like, it doesn't fucking exist. It is just it's empty. It's an empty vehicle for her to pursue her fucking chicken fetish, and that's it. Like, it's an easy 4 garbage cans for me. Like, it's nothing. It's not worth half a garbage can, because it's nothing about it. If it was a bad movie, I wouldn't give it 4 garbage cans because, like, if it was bad enough to be entertaining, I'd still be entertained. But I wasn't. I was just pissed off.
Sure. I mean, I personally gave this movie 3 garbage cans, but my rubric is that they got a cowardly 3 because they didn't even try and swing big. As I've mentioned before, a film like Southland Tales, I'll give it like 4 out of 4 garbage cans because it is like a trash movie. But by God, it had big swings, so I actually like it. This is like 3 garbage cans, nothing redeemable about it. It's just generic, bland, 4-quadrant soy. I mean, it's like raw chicken soy, basically, I guess, is what it is to me. Just 3 big old garbage cans full of that, in my opinion. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. So the last question here, it's a segment that I'm still workshopping a little bit before we get to plugs. The question is, was the runtime worth it? Because in my opinion, no, it was not. 106 minutes long, easily could have been 90 minutes, maybe even like 85 minutes. What did y'all think about this?
This movie should have been 0 minutes. We're gonna be real. 106 minutes on this thing, unconscionable.
No, like I feel like I'm not gonna. It doesn't deserve the time it would take me to do the math, but like cutting out every joke that lingered, cutting 5 or 10 seconds off of each one would shave half an hour off this fucking movie.
Yeah,
easy.
And I think they know it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and it's like what is this fucking YouTube? You got to hit your 10 minutes for it to make some more money or some shit. Like, what the fuck is this? Why so much of it is like, what is it? Is it incompetence? Because I like on a more serious note, I don't think that's how that would work. That a longer runtime on Netflix would mean more revenue. So that aside, well, what is it? Are you just fucking stupid? Are you just like, I cut it here. Okay, then cut it here, and then we're done. Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's like terminal mediocrity. Like,
yeah, like seriously, it's a movie in a vegetative state.
Yep.
It is.
That's it.
Fucking nothing.
Good times. Good summation of this movie. I'm glad that we all definitely enjoyed it and didn't at all regret doing this. That's the important thing.
Oh no, I don't regret it at all because it fucking got me on here. If there was an actual good movie, you wouldn't have a dead week to put me on. So I'm all for it. Are you kidding me?
We like, given your Marvel knowledge, we gotta have you on for the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode. Yeah.
Oh no, for sure.
I see. Well, that makes a lot of sense. But in the in-between time, where can people find you, Ruby? What do you got to plug?
I'm from Twitter. That's how I was introduced. That's how I'll extraduce myself. Because like I have ideas for stuff I want to do, but none of it's going yet, and probably won't for a little bit. So you can just find me at Pussy Jihad on Twitter. I am so fucking proud of that act because I got allegedly suspended again from my pussy crusade, and I was like, well, that was so good. Obviously I take the next step, inshallah.
That's such a good handle. Like, how is that not taken already?
No, I nabbed a good one for sure.
Yeah, it's very, very memorable.
Grift, what about you? What have you got going on in your world?
I put out a shirt, a sweatshop shirt yesterday.
Yes,
in the font, in like the Live Laugh Love font. It just sort of making fun of that Cato Institute ridiculous id poll shit. It's just funny that like even the most like right-wing libertarian think tank knows that dropping a narrative about how sweatshops are empowering to women is a good engagement grift. Like you gotta respect it.
It doesn't feel real. That fucking tweet doesn't feel real. I saw everybody like my rundown with Twitter. The way Twitter always works for me is I see everyone's jokes about it, and then I see the fucking thing they're joking about, and it's usually grift. I see like your 10 tweets about it that at various stages of workshopping. And I'm like, whoa, what stupid shit happened today? Oh, okay. Some fucking idiot said sweatshops are fucking girl boss. I'm so mad that we can't get the girl boss Dorner. Like, that's so close.
Oh yeah. I need to like, cause I put the pink shirts out there, and then I went to the page and it said it was unavailable. And then I'm like, fuck, that must mean they're sold out. it's bullshit because you can't tell before you add the colors whether they're sold out or not. I gotta take it up with my supplier, but I gotta figure out how to, as soon as the pink comes back into stock, I gotta put those out because it's too good. Like there's so many merchandising opportunities this summer. The Grift shop, the presses are rolling. We're gonna have a lot of fun this year.
It's a Grift shop summer. Let's go.
Yeah. Like you don't want to participate in White Boy Summer. Grift shop summer.
You don't want the baggage of the abuser. You can get the baggage of the grifter. You can get the man who works.
No, you can secure the baggage.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
The guy who's been canceled by basically every section of Twitter at one point or the other, but is still here to live to tell the tale.
That's what it's all about. Survival. That's it's adaption.
I've somehow managed to thread the needle.
That's what you have all the people in your sweatshop doing too. So that makes sense. Yeah. So I guess if any of the God, I can't believe I'm about to say this. If any of the gigolos,
yes,
aren't.
Yeah. That's what you're all fucking called now. Anybody who watches this is a fucking gigolo. You're gonna like it. You're gonna call yourself that. We're gonna have gigolo conventions. We're gonna come together. We're gonna be a real loving community. It's great. That's my contribution. That's my legacy.
Thank you, Ruby. Again, as the lore of the show continues to evolve, it's a smoother operation and then more tangents like this. So thank you. This has been an incredible experience. For anyone who is wondering, you can follow the show on Twitter and Letterboxd at Gigo Podcast. And then if you want to follow me, I'm on TikTok at Sex Confetti, because that's now how I'm just going to tell people to navigate with me, because I can filter DMs there so effectively. It's a beautiful thing. It's truly wonderful.
That's also where you're clouded now too.
It is bizarre. It is bizarre. I'm now at like 28,000 followers over there. So we'll see how that goes.
We need to talk grifts, TikTok grifts, because this is too good an opportunity to pass up.
We'll make something happen. But in the meantime, let's all go ahead and say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Deuces.